What is your name? Where are you from?
My name is Roger Farr. I come from Shropshire in the UK. I come from a large family of 13. My granddad was a really good amateur artist and my dad was a gamekeeper, so they were early influences in my life.
How did you get into art? How did you start?
I started basically by watching my granddad, standing by the side of my granddad as he was painting, and I think that was a major influence for me when I was younger.
What is your art background?
My art background stems from my granddad being a really good amateur artist, and I think my influence was from that early age. And then I went on to really study all the feather tracks and all the anatomy of all the birds and all the animals to make sure that I could draw them in 3D. Being self-taught mainly, I did end up going to Wolverhampton University just to get a degree.
Why should people buy your art?
People should buy my art because of the originality of it, and because from scratch I started with a sketchbook, no photographs, no tracing, no anything, and I think it's been a hard sort of life to concentrate and develop that style, and I think it's of good quality.
How did you hear about newartoriginals.com?
I knew about newartoriginals.com through they contacted me on the internet, so I looked at their site and thought they were a good company, and I thought they were a forward-going company.
How do you make a living as an artist?
I made a living as an artist for the last 10 or 12 years, working for the BBC and ITV as a court artist, covering the major murder trials for the evening news, starting from Harold Shipman and finished with Michael Jackson, and in between doing portraits of wildlife subjects and people.
What special techniques do you use to create your art?
The techniques I've used, I've developed myself from a very early age. I wanted not to be a one-track pony. I wanted to be able to do all subject matter and all different techniques. And it's been a long apprenticeship, but I think it's been worth it.
What effect do you think the internet will have on the art world?
I think the art world in general is is really being taken on now by the internet. The internet offers massive exposure for the artists, and I think that's the way forward for artists, really, to get that exposure they need.
What advice would you give to someone trying to promote themselves as an artist?
Artists, I think now with the internet, the access they've got with it, I think they should be looking for exposure on them. There's lots of internet companies out there and art galleries, as well as New Art Originals, to go forward with them, really. That's the way forward, I think.
What are your frustrations about the art world?
My frustrations about the art world is probably the modern and the contemporary style is the road which I don't want to go down, because I started off learning fine art, and it's a really difficult thing to learn and master, and I've done it. I don't really want to go down that direction. And seeing some modern art and contemporary work, which I used to do probably when I was 5 years of age, it's really frustrating when you see it selling for millions of pounds.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
I see myself in 10 years' time probably having saved up enough work to have a major one-man exhibition, being able to produce limited editions, and going on to carving now, which I've started going on to carving, and I want to be able to go on to that. That's going to be brought into my work more and more now, and that's just going to be another outlet for me.